Hey there, I'm Stacey with NutritionJobs, and thank you so much for listening in on how to negotiate a higher salary or how to make more money as a dietitian. It's one of my favorite topics, and I am super excited to tell you a few things about it. One, to either make more money as a dietitian, increase your earning potential, and how to ask for a raise or for your rate in a confident way. So I've got a few ideas for you. So this is a tricky topic. Some dietitians have a harder time with it because you might be thinking, well, how come that dietitian's making more money than me? I should be making more money. Or should I be making more money? I am here to help and nurture this patient population. Is it okay to make a large amount of money or to have a lucrative career? So I am here to say that yes, you are totally within your right to try to either make more money as a dietitian or increase your earning potentials. And so I'm going to go through a couple little things with you. So there's like three salary negotiation scenarios that we're sort of talking about. One is the salary negotiation you might have when you're applying for a new job. And that's really important because you want to make sure that you come into a new job, that's the one time that you're going to be able to ask for more money. So you want to be able to set that up ahead of time and talk about money once you have the negotiating power, and that is after you've accepted their offer. So once that happens, you want to be making at least 20 to 30% more than what you were making at your previous job where you were working before. So that's your one time you can make a big jump when you're working for other people. Another time you can increase your rate is when you're working and you want to get a raise. Maybe it's your annual raise or your biannual raise, and you want to aim for about 3 to 10% annual salary increase. And if that range is not an option, when you're going through your performance evaluation, then there might be some other things that you can ask for, some other tangible perks that are not just about your salary that can be alternative compensation. I've got a big list of those in the accompanying article that goes with this, where you can see different things that you can ask for. I'll also go through them. Third way to make more money as a dietitian is to pitch your rate in a confident way for your consulting services. And so the rate that your services are going to provide should be in alignment with what you're providing and what the market value is for that you're providing. And so you also want to be able to communicate that very confidently. You want to have like a sales sheet that you can go off of so that you don't start to get or sort of emotional about the topic of making more money as a dietitian. So you can talk about what the value is. Testimonials help enormously. I think for all of these scenarios, one thing that really helps is keeping a work journal. And that's where you document what your work successes have been. You can do it on a weekly basis. You can do it on a daily basis. You can also do it monthly. I think weekly is nice, sort of your end of your Friday wins. You can talk about what accomplishments you had during the week, big and little, what successes you've had, sort of write those down. So those become your quantifiable work successes that can then go onto your resume or onto your LinkedIn profile. So you got your successes. Also, you want to document what your challenges were and your struggles. And then you can show like how you overcame them or how you solved that problem, how you turned that around, just showing some problem solving. And then you can also include in there nice things that your boss has said about you or that other coworkers have said about you or your clients or your, again, these are like your testimonials. So keeping track of those, that can go into your sales call, that can go into your performance evaluation, that can go into when you are presenting your resume or your LinkedIn profile. That can all show up on those places. So I think a work journal is super, super important. In the article, I'll link to the download where you can get your own work journal template and make yourself feel more confident. So when you're going into any negotiation or sales call, I think one of the most important things is to be able to do your research and prepare for what the situation is, understand what the market is. If you are interviewing at a company and you know that there's a pay grade, a specific pay grade, then perhaps you know that there's a range. You're not going to be able to exceed that range, but maybe you can talk about some of those other tangible perks that can boost up your compensation. But going into it and asking for 50% more than what this range is might not feel very well on the perspective from the perspective of the recruiter or the hiring manager. So sort of going in and knowing what that might be, what that range might be, is good. Also know the job description. So if bigger companies will have information there, very detailed. A lot of people put a lot of good information into their job descriptions, and that can really give you a sense of what's in there for that particular range and what you can expect. The other thing you can do is if you're working in an office, you're working for a company, you can start asking around and see what everybody else is making. You can say, like, I'm thinking about getting a salary range. This is what I was offered. I'm currently making this. Can you tell me if you're in that same ballpark? And when there's more transparency, then it can become more leveraging power, more negotiation power when you're working with your hiring manager. And then, when you are looking at your performance evaluation, if it's coming up, you want to start getting everything, all your ducks in the line, and you want to let your hiring manager or the person who's going to be giving you the raise know ahead of time, 4 to 6 months ahead of time, what you've accomplished, what your goals are, what their goals are for you, and if you've met those. And so keeping an open line of communication so that when the day that your performance evaluation pops up, that's the day you get told what the rate was or what the rate increase is. That has been determined like months before that. And so if you step back even further, 4 to 6 months prior to when your evaluation is, you can maybe meet them head on with what the evaluation should be and what you can get out of that. The other thing I recommend is, feeling confident and feeling professional. Of course, having a resume, LinkedIn profile that's really polished, that has your summary of qualifications in there, a headline on your LinkedIn profile that really describes what it is that you're doing, your about section on your LinkedIn profile, making sure that that is a nice elevator pitch, large or small, that's your talking point. Then you know what it is that you're trying to say, and you will come across very confident, and you'll be able to not have to think so much on your feet when you know what it is that you want and what you're going in with. So I've got lots of resources on Nutrition Jobs about how to create a modern resume, how to boost up your LinkedIn profile so that it's optimized for search so that you can be found. So I'm just going to go through a few of the items on a compensation checklist. Of course, you can have a bonus. You can have a deferred bonus based on merit or based on time, or a bonus structure. You can also ask for paid time off. So I did this in one of my jobs, and I only worked, I think it was a total of, instead of a 40-hour work week, I worked about a 35-hour work week. I still got my benefits, but I stayed at the desk for an hour every day, wasn't being paid. I was sort of there on call, able to use their super duper high speed internet access to work on nutrition jobs when I was a clinical nutrition manager. So that was a way for me to be able to fulfill my creative outlet and also my side hustle, and to make more money as a dietitian running nutrition jobs. So that's what I did. You can also talk about different types of insurance, healthcare, vision, dental, of course. You can also get structured hours at work. So maybe you got some work flexibility. Of course, the time of recording, we're all working mostly from home, but maybe you can negotiate that later on when we go back in person. Maybe you can do some of it from home or from a remote location. Maybe you might be able to get some paid meals or paid utilities. That might be helpful for a cell phone or internet service. There might be other things that you can put in there. Some sort of a stipend that will provide for some of your utilities that you'd also be using at work. You could also talk about like gasoline or mileage reimbursement. Sometimes that works. You usually think about that for sales jobs, but for some other jobs, that might be an option too. The other idea, what you can do is roll out incremental raises, like a 10% over 3 months based on performance. We talked about that in terms of bonus, but that could also be in terms of your salary. All right, so those are some beginnings of how you can talk confidently about salary negotiation and setting yourself up to be confident and to present yourself professionally so that you can be in a position to negotiate your salary or your rate or whatever it might be. So awesome. Tell me all about the things that you've done. I want to hear about your job interviews and what you've done successfully. So that's it for now. Bye for now.